This is a short instructional video for the Forrest Model 106 curved sidewall and pipe covering saw. This is not the first video, there's a previous video. This one specifically relates to using what we call the short radius basket. The Model 106 has three configurations. First, you can use it for cutting pipe covering, that is 180-degree sections of piping insulation. It can also be used to cut curved sidewall segments, so curved sections of insulation less than 180 degrees coverage, like you would use for tanks or vessels or very large diameter pipe. For the short radius, or for the less long radiuses, we have what we call the short radius basket. I have this mounted here. Locked on both sides. So the whole thing is mounted on a carriage. And for shorter radiuses of curved sidewall segments, actually for all curved sidewall segments, you're not normally going to be in the range covered by the gauges. So what you'll wind up doing is physically measuring your distance from the center of rotation of this turntable to the edge of the blade. And of course, the big feature of the 106 is we have two separate bandsaw blades. So if you need to cut 3-inch thick insulation segments, you have a hand crank down here, which you rotate, and it changes the spacing between the two blades. So that controls how thick you're cutting, but to set the inner radius, you move this carriage. And so the basket here has a lot of variables. It's almost like a Tinker toy set. You set up as you need it. The main portion here is the basket. I'll bring this to you. See that? So the basket here, we have 4 runners, the 2 inner runners, the 2 outer runners, which have these wings on them, and we have these end bars. And the idea here is you can locate these as you need them to accommodate whatever size block you're working with. So all these runners have tapped holes in the bottom. You bolt through this double tubing, which is the end plates, and set the spacing on these as you need them. Then these end plates have these holes here on these plates. So we have these, we don't have a name for them, just a long radius and short radius extension tubes, holes at both ends. We have the turntable here. Let me make sure you're seeing that clearly. Yes. So you have this turntable. You can position these bars forward or backwards as you need to accommodate the size of insulation you're cutting. There are then 2 bars sit on top of here and clamp down to hold these in place. So there's tapped holes in the turntable. You use those clamping bars to lock this into place. Then your previously assembled carriage bolts on these. So use these through holes here, bolt it all up. So you can set the basket back and forth relative to the center rotation of the carriage, the turntable, and you move the whole turntable back and forth to get the radius of cut you need. So this is good for probably up to about 5 foot radius, 4 foot maybe. longer than 4 to 5 feet, you switch to the long radius basket, which I will illustrate in another video.